Hey guys, welcome to another voiceover. My name is Sakami-chan, and for this terms of voiceover, we're going to be working on Nico Robin, who was the winner of the pinup poll. So here I have the rough sketch all done. So the idea is we're going for a classic swimsuit with a twist. So um, yeah, so I had planned to just do the general pinup and then I wanted to add um add a bit of that wanted poster graphics in the background. I thought that might be cool. And I gave her two arms, one on each side. Um yeah, hopefully it ends up looking the way I'd hope. Sometimes it doesn't always turn out the way I want. So right now I am searching up some references. So, um, reference, I'm gonna go on my figure collection. It's a website that catalogs all the figures for games and anime and such. And I'm just looking up some figures, and I'm just going to use some of that as shading reference. Um, Not sure if I want to render it like an anime figure. But some of them does have really nice lighting and looks 3D, so that is always a plus when it comes to painting like a anime character. Okie dokie. I guess not the best reference, but I have my reference. Alright, here we go. So got the sketch already. I didn't do line art this time. I thought I'd just go ahead and do the color blocking right away. So we're gonna start with the skin. And there is a lot of space to cover. So I'll just use the lasso tool and select basically her whole body, more or less. Or actually, should I do the bust separately? I think I will. Sometimes it's good to have it separate, that way we can always play around with the placement. And I'm going to go ahead and use a base color, so I'm trying to look for a skin tone that I like. Okay, this one should do it. It's not too dark and not too bright. So let's cut this bust. And then the bottom, using the lasso tool once again, we will select the bottom. So I made the pose for this pinup a bit more simple. There's not much dynamic stuff going on. It's just going to be a straightforward her sitting on the ground. And we're just going to keep it fairly simple for this voiceover, for this pinup. Okay, so got the bottom. And then let's go ahead add the hands. So for the hands, once again, let's go ahead and use the lasso tool to help us isolate some of these areas like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna fill it in. I made the hands base color darker just to differentiate it for now. And then we have the head. So for the head, I like to usually make a group because there's gonna be multiple layers for this part. So we have the face. I will fill that in, create a layer, fill it in, and then we have round layer mode. We have the bangs. I made her hair part slightly off center, unlike her usual parting for her bangs, which is in the center most of the time. She does have two iconic look, but I guess for this time I wanted to go with her classic, her earlier look, which is the with the sunglasses. So we got the bangs, and then we're going to go ahead and block in the sunglasses, which I am tempted to just look up a texture for after because typically for small accessories I'm pretty lazy, but I guess I should try not to be. So we're gonna block it in with the orange color, and then we have the hair. That goes all the way around. And let's go ahead and block that in. I'll adjust it later on, but this is what we have so far for the blocking. And then of course we have hair once again in the back. Her hair drapes down and cascades nicely on the floor in a very um, very curvy fashion like this, and that's going to help with the composition. Having Since this pinup is pretty centered, so I need to keep some sort of symmetry. So that is the reason for the hair being the way it is. So yeah. And I'm looking at the preview, and this side is definitely more detailed. So I'm wondering, perhaps I could just copy this side and then flip it onto the other side. And yes, it looks a little bit weird because of it being too symmetrical. So we'll just use the warp tool and push that down maybe, and remove a couple of hair placements. Okay, we've got the hair done, and then I kind of wanted to give her a hat. Not sure. Not sure how that would look. Maybe it won't even read as a hat. But she's gonna have a straw hat. That is planned, but I might remove it. But if I were to have something in the back, it would definitely help with filling in some of the negative spacing of the composition that's just got nothing in it. Okay, so this is what we got. Let's go ahead and put this all in a group, and then we got the background. I was hoping for the background maybe like water, and then oh god, looks like I need to remove the white here. So for the background, we are going to go on a Googling spree. Let's go ahead and Google beach. In particular, I'm looking for a beach photo with sky and water and a bit of sand, maybe, I'm not sure. But something that is... I will let you guys know when I find... Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe this. Let's see if we can use this somehow. Really just need this part of it, more or less. And let's go and see if this will work. It's not too bad, actually. Definitely need to blur out the background. It's looking kind of pixelated. maybe like that. And then Nico Robin. And then I'm gonna search up the wanted poster and see if I can incorporate that somehow. Hopefully it's not gonna look too weird. Actually, hold on. What's it called? Alright, for now we're just gonna use this. This is not the best. But I just wanna see how it would look with that composition wise. Like, what if it was filled up like this? This could be a nice graphic pinup. It's not gonna have that much environment, but might look cool. So I'm gonna think on that. By putting the background like this. Not too sure. We'll have to think about it. But yeah, those weren't my ideas for this piece. Alrighty. So we did a quick background that's yet to be solidified because I'm not sure which direction I want to go with. Let me just clean this up. Alright, so we're ready to go. For the shading, that is. So let's start off bust. Lock it in. I think I might also put the bikini on a separate layer. So let me go ahead and do that. The bikini, I wanted to do it with the Luffy's pirate logo for design on the bikini itself. Not sure how good that's gonna look. We're gonna try it out and see. If not, the backup plan would be just to put a pattern that she's known to wear on the bikini. But otherwise, let's go ahead and try to put Luffy's logo on there. Let's give it a try. Maybe just probably need a different one. Oh, actually, let's use this. This is probably better. Let's go ahead and see if this will fit on the bikini. I'm getting some, I feel like I should give her some tattoos. She's looking very punkish with this. It might not work out, but I kind of like it. Only after we render it out will I be able to tell if it works or not. Because a lot of times you won't be able to tell. Alright, so let's go ahead and start rendering, I suppose. So we're gonna have some really intense highlight towards the top. That's where most of the lighting is gonna be coming from. That's where the sun is gonna cast some nice shadow on her. And let's go ahead and add some light shadows. Get some shadow underneath there, and then we're going to add a bit of warm tone. So this is a very, very rough shadow slash highlight blocking for her. I have some idea of how I want the shadow to look. So let's give it a try. Although I still end up changing it completely if it doesn't turn out the way I'd hope. So let's pray that the first time's the charm. So we're gonna give her some massive shadow underneath her bust, and then some undies. I think I just want to block in the general shape for the coverage, and then I'm gonna put the straps later. Since if I put the straps now, I'll have to paint them over again because I'm gonna be rendering out the leg. So either way, I will have to redo that part. So let's just do the crotch cover first. Alright, let's go ahead and add some intense shadow on her leg now. So we're going to start to get a general idea of how it looks. Oh my goodness. Why does this part look so jaggedy? We'll clean up the face. And for sure, let's go ahead and look at our reference, which is a 3D, I mean not 3D, a figure for Nico Robbins, because it's probably the best reference I'm gonna get for her facing 3D. I'll just roughly, based on the reference, add some light shadow. Okay, let's go ahead and do the eyes now. So her eyes are pretty stylized, so that's basically how we're going to make her look like her. I will try my best. It's not gonna look too great at first. Gonna try to make it look like the anime as close as possible, and then we're going to change it up a bit because it doesn't always work out. I mean, yeah, it doesn't always work out, the style merge. So I'll just go ahead and almost give her like a sticker on her face. It feels like those stickers you stick on Barbies. I have to rotate the eyes a bit. Like this to fit the style. Okay. I'm going to try to sculpt out the nose. And then the face. Not sure what type of expression I want to give her just yet. So we're just gonna go with like a standard one with not too much emotions. Okay, now that that's done, let's go back to the hair part, and we need to start adding some highlight for the hair. Might be a bit too bright. Her hair is black after all, so we'll add back some of the shadows. Let's go here. Time to add the shadow plus highlight. I'm going to remove some of that, remove some of this. I'm going to switch back to the pen brush. We need to add some slick shininess to her hair. Like this. So quite rough, but it gets the point across, and then we're going to add some quick texture to the cascading hair as well. Let's go with some shininess. Get some of that warm highlight just to contrast the cool tone that we have. Add shadow now. And then we'll quickly do a little blending just to get the general color theme across. Okay, let's go with this. Alright, so this is a good base. We'll just keep at it, I guess. So I'll just sculpt out her anatomy bit by bit. At this point, I wonder if I can remove the lines. Before I do that, I guess I want to just quickly render out the hand. There we go. Let's use the pen tool to quickly line the pose for the fingers. And then I believe I could just remove the lines now. So this is what we have. And basically we will just take it from here and try our best to render it. Let's bring a bit more shadow underneath here. And then I want some highlight in the in the both sides. Let's go ahead, give her belly button real quick. And I'm going to start sculpting out the anatomy like rib cages and stuff like that. Use a slightly darker brush. I will line the rest of her crotch. Okay. I'm gonna go over here. We'll put a line at the edge. It helps with the volume, I find, just having that line. If there isn't like some sort of dynamic lighting going on, which we don't have in this scene, since the light source is pretty much from the top, mainly. Okay. Next, let's move on to the bust. Let's add her chest. We're gonna give her like really big melons. I'm gonna use the lasso tool to help me block it in while I do this. Oops, didn't want to do that. Add some soft lighting. I'm going to use the lasso tool once again to help me do a nice clean job at this. Same for this side. Let's add a bit of yellow tone back to a warm tone, and then I would like a brighter color followed by slightly darker tone on top like this. And then we'll go on to the chest part. Let's use a little bit of beige. And then I want to grab a really bright color. And I'm going to highlight her chest part. And then we'll just blend out her arm. And then I have to kind of remember, where does the armpit go again? Something like this. And there's a little bit of highlight here. So just render out the armpit. And then we do the same on the other arm. Okay. Not really sure. I guess I wanted her to have her arms raised up like this. Actually, maybe we'll just have her arms behind her head, maybe. Maybe that's a better composition. Okay. Now we're just going to flip the canvas. Let's check it out. There's some unevenness. We are going to adjust them now. even out the sides of her legs on both sides. Oh, actually, I need to move her arms a little bit for now. Okay, now for the chest part. Bring this hand outward more. Let's redo the bikini. Let's rotate this down a bit more. I wanted to make it a little bit more even. And then for the bust, I'm gonna tuck in this armpit more to match the other one better. Grab this and then bring it out. I think this side might be a bit too big. I have to even out the bust. Oh, it's probably this side. Needs to be tucked in a bit more. So now I am looking at the preview while I do this, so I can get a more or less even look. And then for the hat, let's add some shadow here. Add a bit of blue for the environmental color. Okay, so now I think it's looking a bit more even. Let's go to the face. Move it slightly, maybe. Okay, now let's go to the bikini. Let's add some light highlight. I'm gonna switch to the airbrush. I'll just do a basic knot. Okay, let's go with this. Let me go ahead and gradually add the shadows. Let's add some shadow underneath the neck, and then I'm going to line like the clavicle area and stuff, and we're just going to blend it in. I'm going to use the lasso tool to help me with some of the shading here. Okay, need a bit of rendering here. And then for the hat, let's add a bit of shadow. Going back to the bust. And we are going to add drop down shadow like that. For now, maybe a little bit here. So I'll just copy and then darken those areas. Let's do this. After that, we are going to be blending what we just did in with whatever was still there. Let's use a airbrush. And we are going to just blend that in. Let's do a little before and after. And I'm going to basically do the opposite. So especially on top of her breast, we're going to have some intense highlight. And then we blend that in too. Something like that. Merge down, go to the bottom, and we're gonna do the same thing. So I'm going to do the shadow first. So we're gonna have some intense shadow underneath here. And then some shadow near the crotch, and then the bottom area of the leg. Copy paste, and then darken. Once that's done, we're going to clip it down and then blend it in. Let's go ahead and add some rim light in the shadow area, contouring the rib cage. Let's go ahead and add a bit of highlight underneath the belly button. Trying to get a nice snatched belly for her. Use the lasso tool. Oops. We're gonna use the lasso tool and get a nice V line for her. And then we're going to blend in the shadow. Let's go ahead, grab the airbrush. Gonna airbrush on a bit of blush on her leg. And gradually blend it down. Let's go ahead into the background, and then I want to add shadow from where she's sitting so that it doesn't feel like she's floating. As well as a little bit of it underneath her hair too. We'll just add a little bit of shadow. Because I know that part's probably gonna change. Now that we have established, I rendered her out a little bit, it gives me a bit more context to how I should where to put the background. So I'm gonna have to adjust the background. I'm gonna bring it up and have more sand coverage. There we go. I think that makes a bit more sense. Pop back on the wanted poster. Put it in the background maybe. Put it up. What if I do these? What if it was like this? Actually, I think that might work better. I'm gonna have to redo the background later, but yeah, this is what we have for now. So do a little before and after for the bottom, and then a little before and after for the bust area. And then we are going to, let's see, I think the next thing we have to work on just a little bit is the face. I want to see how it would look if I moved her face over just a tad. So we're going to move her nose over a bit, make it even more snatched for that anime look. So we're gonna end up with something like this. Next up, let's grab this highlight. I want her elbow to be highlighted. I want her elbow to catch a lot of the sunlight because it's looking a little flat over here. So we're gonna have to add some more volume. So that part looks a little bit better. Now onto this part, this side, I'm gonna add a little bit of environmental color, same with the other side. Let's go here. Okay, looking a bit more 3D. I'm just stacking on that highlight. Sorry, not highlight. Stacking on the shadow. Since I'm not using line art, it is definitely more challenging. Let's go ahead, grab a bit of this color. Soften the neck. Okay, back to the face. I'm gonna blend it in. Blend this down, merge down. Fix the silhouette here. Let's see what we could do with the face here. Give her a smile. Give her a smile. Let's go with the forehead now. Actually, not forehead. Let's see. I'm gonna create a new layer and then we're gonna add a bit of blush to her face. Wonder if I can render out her eyes just a bit. that was good. Now, let's see if I can just clean her up. Clean her eye sticker up a bit. Wonder if I can give her some lower lids or the tear duct. Not sure if that's gonna, might not fit with the whole anime style, so let's do it very subtly. And then for the eyebrows, I'm gonna change the angle. Just a tad. Go back to the face. Let me flip her. And then create a new layer for me to experiment with the face. So she's practically got very, very subtle nostrils, or not at all. Well, I'll try to give her some nostrils. But yeah, she doesn't, her nose is not very pronounced. Even in the reference, which is a Nico Robin anime figure. I would like to, okay, we're gonna merge everything down. I do want to give her like a slight smile. So I want to move this up a bit, move that up, and then add a tiny bit of smile line. Ugh, not sure if that's gonna end up working out that well though. Doesn't really fit very well. I think I will ease it out of existence. Grab a bit of that. Let's bring it up. Bring up the highlight in her eye. So hopefully it'll make her look more at the audience. Okay, I think that did it. I might also need to simplify the smile. Well, at least it looks like her. Okay, let's go to her hair. And we'll just render out that wave with the airbrush. It looks very rough, but it's gonna get better later on. This is good for just blocking in the shape and all without overly blending it. I think this needs to flow the other way. And this flowing this way. Trying to get her bangs to kind of flow in a bit more symmetrical way. So I'm gonna erase this part and then do it like this. That way, her hair is now nice and framing her properly. Let's go ahead and give a bit more ripples Okay, now go back to the other hair and I'm going to do a quick render of the top of her slick back hair. Mostly just need to be blended out. Okay, that should do it. Let's add some highlight towards the bottom part of the hair that's caught on her shoulders. And then we're going to use the lasso tool, highlight the top portion of her hair, copy paste. We're gonna brighten it up quite a bit, and that's gonna be like how the sun's hitting her head, getting that nice intense highlight on the top. After that, we'll try to blend it out in with the rest. Merge down now. We'll just keep it simple for now. Still very rough, but we are starting to get the shape down and all that, so that's good. Next up, we are going to do the same thing to the hair cascaded onto the ground using the airbrush. Pretty rough, but I think it gives it a nice texture. Now that that's done, I'm going to be moving it inward a bit and maybe even dropping it down as well. I think maybe dropping it down might look a little bit better. So I'm gonna do that to the other side as well. And then we're gonna flip her. Okay, let's flip it a few times. Okay, that's not too bad. Nothing is jumping out at me when I flip this, so that is always good to know. Good news. Let's go ahead, grab all these muddy colors and try to make something out of it. Oh, this one's looking a little too crazy. I'm gonna remove that. And then we will take this whole hair part to make it darker. Now that that's done, I'll continue to clean up. Okay, that's done. Alright, now let's move on to the face. Need to work on the ear now. Let's grab the hair layer and then add a bit more hair behind the face. I need to rework that ear somehow. Let's use the lasso tool. Okay, and then add a bit more to the bottom part of the ear. Add a basic shadow to the ear. I think I need to start doing simplified ears because I changed the face a lot, so I move the ear down and up a lot, and that ends up deforming the ear. So maybe I'll just do like a simple base and then refine it after everything's settled. Wonder if I can bring her gaze at the audience more. I think I want to move this eye over. So I'll just copy and then move that. Merge down. What happens if I move her face down like this a bit more? Let's bring this up. Actually, no, not bring it up. Move her ear, tuck her ear a bit more. Let's go ahead and do the same. I'm going to elongate her face maybe a bit more. Tuck it in. Tuck in her cheek a bit. Want to get that anime look, but at the same time I wanted to have some 3D realism to it, so it's like a fine balance. Time for the sunglasses. Okay. So I guess for the sunglasses, I'm gonna remove the arms for now. For the sunglasses, we'll just have the lenses and the frame, and then I'll try to even it out somehow. Hopefully this is... I hope this looks even. Okay. Let's use this, the pen tool, and we are going to work on that frame now. Let's add some highlight to the silver frame. And then we are going to add some highlight. And then using the watercolor, blend it in. And then use the lasso tool, do a little shadow. Let me flip the canvas. I'm going to adjust it. And then I'm going to paint in a bit of the hair in the background. Blend that in. Okay. Let's go ahead and add more shadow to the frames. There we go. Let's go to the face. I'm going to use multiply this time around. We're just going to sort of darken the face up. Like as if her whole face is shrouded in shadow. And then we're going to do a highlight on her forehead. And followed by sunglasses color on her forehead. And then we're going to add some filler color to her face, which is just sort of like the rim light for the shadow, so that the shadow isn't too dark or anything like that. Let's add a bit of highlight on her nose. Oh god. Her nose is so tiny if I do that. Let's say like this. Merge down and then merge down. And we are going to intensify that forehead highlight. We're going to get as much as we can get out of it, because otherwise that would have been for nothing. Okay. I think it's starting to get there. So now the sunglasses is having some sort of effect on the on her head or on her face, which is good. It's always good to have some sort of dynamic when it comes to like accessories on the character. Let's continue with the highlight of the frame. All right. Let's bring it down a bit. And then after I bring it down, I'm going to tackle uh, her hair. So I need to bring down that hairline with it. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead, liquefy, and bring that down. Wonder if I should keep her head volume or not. Well, this does look like her at least, right? Just needs a bit more rendering around her arms. Time to work on those damn hands. I'm going to make her hands a little bit more delicate. So the plan is to work on one hand and then flip it to the other side. And hopefully we can reuse it that way. Alright, let's get started. Let's use the airbrush for this. Airbrush is good for hands, since hands have a lot of little details like each fingers and stuff, and we don't want to overly blend it or anything, so airbrush is good. Normally airbrush is not as great in Photoshop, but airbrush in Clip Studio is good for that. Airbrush is like the standard round brush in Photoshop. So we will just slowly sculpt out the fingers. And I'm going to be using Liquify tool to help me adjust the finger volumes and stuff like that, because we want the fingers as even as possible, and sometimes I'm too lazy to clean it up, so I use Liquify. Let's add some of the knuckle impressions. Go back to the airbrush, and we are going to be blending out each finger. There we go. So that's done. Slowly but surely we're gonna get her hand to look better and better. Lock it in. I'm going to go ahead and use the airbrush once again. Let's add a bit of this color. Add some shadow. Add some blush. We're gonna stack on the blush and then add the shadow underneath the fingers. Okay, it's starting to get there. I can feel it. Starting to look like a hand more and more. Let's go ahead, block in the silhouette for this finger, and we are going to make it clean. Go back to the rest of the fingers and make it clean as well. So we have this hand done. All right. So that hand is done. What we're gonna do is copy paste and we're gonna flip it onto the other side and we're gonna see if we can somewhat reuse this. Since it is a fairly symmetrical look, we can do it. Although even if it wasn't symmetrical, sometimes I still try to cheat it by flipping and then just warp it around a bit. Okay, there we go. I think it fits. Although could use some slight variation, but overall should work. So now we just have to just make it fit. Oh, hold on. I'm going to create a layer mask, and this mask is going to contour her chest and waist. That way her hands, or actually her arm won't go outside of the lines. There we go. Alright. So the hands are more established now. I'm just gonna move it over. Move the hand over more. Let's try to... I'm gonna try to make the strap a bit tighter. Tightline it better. Let's... this might work. Okay, I need to make sure this finger is moved over a bit more, like here. Okay, so we got the bikini. I need to work on the bikini. It's looking a little flat and doesn't quite match her anatomy. I'm gonna give her a choker. Where is her glasses? There it is. Let's bring the glasses up. Alright, so this is what we have after an hour or so, which is not too bad. Welcome back, guys, for part 2. So for this part, I'm going to be working on this piece with Photoshop. So yeah, shall we get started? I actually wanted to use Photoshop because I'm so used to using Photoshop to apply like textures and stuff. So we are going to do a little cheat on the hat. I'm gonna find a texture for a straw hat and then we are going to apply that. And let's see what we can achieve with this. So back to using the lasso tool, copy, Let's go back and find where the straw hat is. Alright, there it is. And then I'm going to use warp just to fix the placement. Right now it's looking flat. It's missing shadow and highlight to fit the environment. We can add that after. I just want to fit all the texture throughout the hat. After that's done, I'm gonna look at actually what I'm gonna do is just copy whatever was underneath, put it on top, and then let's test out using a few. Okay, this one looks pretty good. A few layer effects or multiplier. Looking good on that texture. So let's go ahead and basically commit to this because might as well. And then let's start off with just kind of working throughout this piece. With Photoshop, it's a slightly different workflow, so it doesn't blend as well, but it does have more control, and we are going to be using a lot of lasso tool and airbrush. First, I have to fix my settings, so I only want transfer on, no pen pressure or anything like that, to give me the best smoothing effect. And basically, we're going to blend with this combination for now. Just want to fix up the leg area. And we're just going to continue to blend this part out. I want to extend the highlight upwards a bit and maybe blend this out as well. Bikini line, let me just ease that in and copy paste, bring it down a bit. I want to make it even. And then I'm going to add the strap. Looks a little wobbly. Fix that, move it onto the other side. Make it a bit even like this. So now that I have my strap, I can try to add some silhouette indentation. So I just want a little dip where that strap is holding on her waist, just to make it feel like the strap has some effect on her hips and all that. I'll use the lasso tool again and tightline the strap on one side, add some shadow, and we are going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to ease in that bikini line. Okay, that looks alright. I'm going to continue to somewhat refine the silhouette as I go along. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and work on that bikini. It's looking a little meh. I forgot to lock in the layer. Lock it in. So we will just do our best here. Let's add some rim light towards the bottom of the bikini. We'll continue to add these indentation lines. Now at this point, I think it's a good idea to find the texture. So we are going to, actually before that, I'm wondering if I can use this texture. I like this, the fray around the straw hat. Actually, no, I found a better one. I found this looks like a pretty good texture for the edge of the straw hat. We can kind of try to put that in. But I got sidetracked. We are gonna look for a black tight bikini. It's kind of a pain to blend the bikini on Photoshop, so I'm gonna use a texture for it and then paint over it, which is going to, I think, will make our bikini look better. So I'm gonna basically find one. So sometimes I like to go on like clothing websites to look for bikini pictures because they have a lot of those. So Shein and Fashion Nova, they have a lot of those like selfie-esque pictures. But yeah, I'm gonna look for one that I kind of dig. Ooh, I kind of like this. This snake-like texture right here. It's got a nice shine to it. Doesn't really have the lighting and shadow I'm looking for, but I like the texture. And I think we could probably use it. So, real quick, I'll just lower the opacity. Zoom in a little bit. Let's use the warp tool. Okay, that's not bad. And I'll just use the other one on the other side, although that side doesn't have the shine, the same amount of shine. But let's see if we can use it anyways. It doesn't have the same feel, so I guess what we could do is just copy this one onto the other side as well. Alright. So now that that's done, I'm going to merge it down since there's not really that much shading to begin with anyways. So just copy the top portion and try to add some form by adding highlight to the edge or towards the top portion. I want to shade it a little better. Okay. With Photoshop, it's can't really paint normally. I mean, I still haven't figured it out, but the way I do is just use the lasso tool because anything else, it just doesn't, it's hard for me to blend without the lasso tool basically. It's like, it's pretty hard to get a soft, realistic blend without it. Alright, so I just did a quick knot. Let's add some more folds, especially around the center. Merge down. Let's pop back on that the design that I kind of wanted to incorporate somehow. We're gonna see if I can do something about it. Let's lower the opacity. Save first. Okay, with the opacity lowered, I'm going into blending options, and we are going to play with the blending over here. Let's do this. Well, that didn't go as well as I'd hoped. Okay. I think what I'll do is do like that, and then let's just kind of add some shadow there. Alright. Not the best, but Other than that, I'm gonna go into the hand over here. There is some squiggliness going on. We just wanna fix that up. Let's use the lasso tool. Copy paste. I'm going to start just adding a bit more shadow in some of these areas. And then the other side as well, especially targeting the underneath area of the hand. Just darken it slightly. And then we'll just kind of erase bits of that just to blend it in with the rest of the hand. Merge down. Going back to the bust area, I'm gonna tighten this line. Merge down. I think we could probably move the shadow over here. So I'm going to go ahead, add a shadow. After that, I'm just going to erase bits of it just to try to blend it in with the rest of her skin. And then fix the surrounding area. Let's go over here. Let's grab this color, and then I want to pick a slightly darker color to contour her silhouette, her arm silhouette that is. And then we will just softly paint in her armpit. Let's go for an even darker color. This is going to add to the edge of her arm to give her arm more of a 3D look. We're just going to highlight the silhouette of the arm. And I mean highlight, I think highlight it with the shadow. Sorry. Okay, merge down, copy, paste, darken this area tightly against her hair. Her head's gonna cast some nice shadow on her arm. Merge down, same with here. We're just gonna do that. Repeat the step. Over here, I need to fill in some of this. Back to the other armpit, we are going to darken the silhouette. Then slowly but surely, we will blend the new shadow in with the rest of the armpit. And at the same time, I'm gonna have to clean the armpit up because it's looking messy. So just a little bit of indentation in the center. And then cleaning up this arm twist over here. Blend the collarbone in. I feel like I want to make this canvas a little bigger. Might be a bit too small. I'm going to line the collarbone with some highlight and basically try to get a nice blend on this. Okay, something like that. I think that looks clean enough. Yeah, the armpit does look a little better, at least. Okay, let me bring up the collarbone a bit. Need some blend around here. I'm gonna soften it up with some more shadow. Oh gosh. Okay, now that that's done, select the chest on that side and I'm going to very softly blend that in. I'm going to use the lasso tool again, really at the center here. Merge down. We'll do it again. Make it really a bit darker. Make it a bit darker. Lower the opacity. Keep blending it in. Alright, so I think what I'm gonna do, create a new layer. So we're gonna touch up the bust area. Let's do multiply and then I, uh, I'll add a little bit more shading throughout. Wait, why isn't that? Okay, there we go. So you want to add a bit of shadow throughout and maybe even enhance some of the warmer parts of the character, like her elbow, maybe armpit. I don't know if that area is blushed up, but probably not. But we just want to target a few areas and make them have slightly warmer tones. And then create a new layer. Let's do overlay and let's overlay some color. Let's overlay some blue, some warm tone. Lower the opacity. Basically, just wanna add add a few more subtle tones in there other than the skin tone. We want like warm, a bit more warm tone and a bit more cooler tone. So now we can try to do the same to the bottom. So multiply and then let's go ahead and add some warm tone to the legs as well. So I know for sure the belly button, we can have some warm tone around the belly button, maybe around the hips, near the crotch area, on top of the leg. We'll add a few added in throughout. Lower the opacity, create a new layer, and then we can do overlay, and then we are going to add some cool tones. Okay, sometimes, doesn't always look good, so we're gonna have to test it out. That might be a bit too much. but I want to add it to the crotch for sure. We can also try to see if it looks better in other layer modes. I think overlay is good though, although it doesn't look good on top, so maybe just towards the bottom portion of the leg. So after that, merge it down, and then after that, we can try to see if we can make this piece a bit more dynamic by adding in some phantom shadow. Like maybe there's something covering her leg or something, I don't know. Doesn't actually look that great. I think if I were to do this, the background needs to be also in shadow. So this part probably needs to be in shadow, and so that's that part. Yeah, something like this. And then I'll just kind of ease up on the shadow there. We don't want it to look too out of place or too sharp. I'm gonna add some cool tone in as well. Merge down, and then copy that whole area, make it bright. We're going to emphasize on the shadow and highlight area. Merge down. Okay. I'm gonna create a new layer, constraint down. Let's do darken. So with darken, it's like multiply, except it doesn't apply a dark, it doesn't make every area dark, it just makes the area that's brighter than the color you selected darker. So I think it's like a softer version of multiply. The multiply layer function. And with this, I think I can somewhat stack on some more shadow. And I could probably try to like make it a bit more dynamic, so added some more shadow. I'm gonna add a bit of highlight now. And I'm gonna target specific areas. Like the hip area underneath the belly button. Grab that. Let's go ahead and highlight. Doesn't actually look that great on top of her leg though. I'm going to go ahead and target a few areas for shadow. There we go. Merge everything down. Oh, don't know why that. There we go. Merge that down. Merge that down. Alright, now that that's done. Guess I'm missing some intense highlight. on the leg now, so let's bring back some of that. This would be a good way to make wet skin. To have some of the areas darkened up, which will really enhance whatever highlights in that area. So for example, the belly button area. Let's see if we can enhance the other leg. It kind of does. I just have to blend it. Blend it a little better. This would be easier in either Paint Tool SI or Clip Studio. Blending, I mean blending wise. It's a little rough on Photoshop, as you can see. Doesn't blend as easily. Okay, I guess it's time to add some shadow for the the crotch area. It's not too bad actually. Let's go with this, merge down. Alright, now that that's done, maybe we can also do the same thing with her chest. So for sure her boobs are gonna get some shine, and then maybe the elbow area, and then the chest maybe. So we are going to, oh okay, there we go. Didn't select the right layer. We are going to subtly make those areas just a little darker. Grab the same highlight we used on the bottom, and then we're gonna add some shine. Maybe a little bit inside here. I'm gonna use the lasso tool. I mean, not lasso, the airbrush. I use some of the regular brush on this part and that part. So right now it's looking a little messy. That's okay though. We are going to blend it in as soon as I finish adding the highlights. So now that that's done, I'll just take the erase tool and gently erase the border. Maybe I'll want to keep some of it, but mostly I just want to erase them, and then after that, this is what we have. You can kind of see the leftover residual silhouettes of some of the selection. But I think it does add a nice texture to it. Maybe it's a good thing, you know? It looks a little bit blotchy around here. I just want to tightline this area. Trying to get it to look good. So let me make this part a bit brighter. Merge down. Bring this over. It's all about the shape. Let me do a little before and after. Nah. Not a big fan of the change. But I guess it's better than nothing. Let me take this whole part, bring it down. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna copy the whole bus area, bring this down. Oh. Maybe this looks better. Looks a bit more even actually. Alright, so now that that's done, we are going to merge down. And next, copy that again. Make it really, really bright. We want to enhance the highlight on top of her chest area especially. And we can test out a few settings for this. This isn't bad. Okay, create a new layer. Let's go ahead and use the airbrush, go in dissolve. Haven't used this in a while. So it's just like a speckle brush, a building speckle brush. We are gonna add some shine. I guess this should be okay. Merge down. And then merge down once again. Next up, let's see what we could do with the hair. Oh, remove the dissolve. Let's try to just refine it and make it a little cleaner. I'm going to start by just adding that hair shine texture. So it's gonna be a lot of these type of pattern where we are going to squish the highlight between shadows. And I'll also try to kind of flatten out some of the hair silhouette over here, clean it up and stuff. Looks kind of wonky. I'm going to remove this part. So we are going to redo the silhouette. I'm going to make it a little bit flatter against the ground. Maybe we can do a couple squigglies. Actually, no. It just doesn't fit as well. Let's add some more. Okay, it's starting to get cleaned up a bit more. I'm going to bring up the silhouette here. go ahead and add some shine towards the inside of the hair. Add a few random strands. Alright, so that side is looking a lot better. Onto this side, so what we're going to do, copy that, and we are going to put it on this side. Delete. Alright, it's a little bit of a copy and paste and it's kind of obvious, so we are going to also paint over it. Try to break up the symmetry and all that. I'm also going to just take some of these areas separately and warp them to hopefully fit the ground better. Lay it better on the ground, I mean. Same with this part. I wanted to maybe like this. I guess now the other issue is just trying to get it to both sides to look even. I have to bring this up, I guess. Alright, that should do it. Lock it in. Let's add some environment color. The hair is good to go, sort of. Go back to the hat. I'm gonna see if I can add some of this edge detail to the straw hat we have. Wonder if I can make it look good. So I basically just want the edge. The edge has some nice highlight silhouette going on, so I wanted to see if I can use it. I mean, actually it doesn't look all too bad. I could probably use this with a combination of paint overs. So I'll just apply it to the edge of the hat. And then after, we can try to add little silhouettes on the edge like this. And then we'll add some towards the darker side. After that, we are going to copy, paste, see if we can also just reuse this on the opposite side. Okay, that's not too bad actually. Yeah, I think it does add a little bit of extra personality to the straw hat and not, you know, having it completely just smooth silhouetted. So now we have a little bit of a variety. A little fray in the hat gives it a slight bit of realism, I think. I'm going to now add a bit of blue. It's like environmental color. Let's go ahead, do a little lighten. merge it down, and then I'm going to select the highlight side, color balance, highlight. Let's add a little bit of a warmth to it. Merge down, bust layer once again, and we are going to enhance the arm with more of a warm tone like that. It's a bit much. So we are going to erase that in. Looks okay. This didn't turn out the way I'd hoped. We are going to work on that. So lighten it is. Lighten it up. Lower the opacity. Merge down. Trying to get that translucent look. I think I want to tweak the colors a bit. Let's add a bit of a pinky tone to the elbow. Merge down. Alright, so now the last thing I have to work on is her head now. That's the challenging part. Alright guys, time to work on the face. So grab myself a reference. We're gonna get started. And since I had to zoom in, I think I'm going to go ahead and make my canvas bigger because clearly it's not big enough if I had to zoom in. So 3,500 should do it. Yep, this is good. Let's go into the face layer. So doesn't seem like I need to do too much, but I do want to clean up the hair. Let's add some shine throughout the hair. Wonder if I can add a few strands. Sometimes it might not fit the style if I do it like this. The style of the anime look. But I think it should be fine. Now onto the other side. We are going to blend that out, do the usual hair shine texture. Occasionally adding highlight to the edge. I'm going to use the lasso tool as well, just to keep things clean, keeping the hair silhouette clean, that is. Let's grab this highlight, bring it on top here. Add the shine for the hair. And then to the hair layer now, we are going to, okay, never mind. Still in the bang layer. That was the wrong layer that I was painting on. That's why nothing showed up. Alright. I'll just extend this downward like that. go back to the hair layer now. Now I'm going to start rendering it out a bit. Let's lock in the layer first. Let's add some blue. Add some blue up top. And then we're going to add a little bit of warm tone towards the bottom. After that, we are going to blend this. Let's zoom out real quick. I just want to kind of check every so often. See if everything is good or not. It's not too bad. I'm also looking at the anime figure for reference. Trying to get like a plasticky hair look at the same time. Although I do want to get a mix of realistic hair and anime figure hair. Let's have a bit of shine on the side. We're gonna have some hair tucked behind her ear. I'm gonna use the lasso tool. I do want to have some more obvious highlight around this side. Might be a bit too bright. I want some of her hair area to pop out more. Maybe like that. Let's zoom out. Not the biggest fan of how I did this. I'm going to use the hair texture to see what I can do here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and create some hair silhouette towards the top. Let's grab some of this, highlight it. Okay. Now that that's done, I want to see if I can just have a specific area a little bit brighter. Well, doesn't look that great, but let's see what we could do with a bit of texture. So let's do slick back hair. See if we can find like a nice. Actually, I should Google. Actually, no, wait. I should Google wet hair. Ooh, I found a nice texture. Right here. This part I like. Okay, let's see if we can make it work somehow with Boa's hair. I mean, not Boa, Nico. Nico Robin. Let's see if we can incorporate it somehow. It does add the texture, although I don't know if it fits too well or not. I guess we could keep it, but then I'd have to also sort of add this texture to the rest of her hair. Hmm. And also have to fix the arm here. Zoom out. Kind of like how it was before. I guess we'll have to keep working on the hair. Let's go to the face and add a bit of hair pulling like that. And then maybe some hairline around here. Go back to the bangs. Copy. And I want that side to be a bit brighter. Like that. Alright, time for the face. The moment I've been not waiting for because it's just such a different style to try to incorporate, you know, that one piece style. Even while using a reference, it's a little bit tough. Alright, first, let's try to add some drop down shadow from the hair on her face. That's gonna help, I think. Now that that's done, let's add some warmth to her ear, maybe her cheek. Get a bit of blush going. Her lips are very standard anime lips. Thin, pretty thin, and especially with this more anime figure style. I wonder how much I can push this. Like can I make it plumb? How plumb can I make it? Stuff like that. And for the nose, we have to make it very, very subtle. Almost non-existent. And then we have to blend in the eyes. And then for the eyes, there's specific style choices. Have to make sure not to add too much eyelashes, that type of stuff. And then I have to somewhat subtly blend in her eyelids somehow. After that, let's go ahead and add some lashes. At least the One Piece style it doesn't go easy on the lashes, which is a good thing because I'm all for drawing eyelashes. So now it's time for the eyes. I'm just basically copying the overall One Piece eye style. Let's go ahead. Looks a little dead though, her expression. It's gonna be hard to make her expression a little bit livelier. Okay, maybe I should, let's see. Kind of like what I had before. Before it was a bit more expressive, just slightly. I'm going to go ahead and do the eyebrows and see what I was missing. What was I missing? Okay, I see. So this eye was looking up a little bit more in the previous version, which made her have a livelier expression. I'm just gonna copy this eye right here. So we're gonna copy the same eye texture for both eyes. This usually helps with balance for the eye itself. Let's go ahead and give her a little smile, but not too much. And then very, very non-existent nostrils. Very tiny nostrils for that anime look. Her nose is quite thin as well, and we want to keep that style, so maybe like that. Mm. We can do a little before and after. And also, her face looks flat. So I guess we could try a few things. First, we could try to change up the lighting. So let's say it's gonna be this type of lighting with shadow up top and highlight towards the bottom. Let's go ahead and try that. See if this is gonna give some volume to her face. Or make her face look less flat. Want to get that anime nose just right. Let's go ahead. Select right underneath her eye. And we are going to add a bit more shadow around this area, followed by highlight. And then I'm just going to move her lips up a bit and maybe make it a little redder, like that. So this is before, now with the new lighting. And then we can add a secondary lighting towards the top. And maybe a little bit on the cheek. And then on the ear. So with this, her face is looking a little bit more 3D, but still it's not really feeling it. Oh, actually, maybe it's missing I'm going to enhance it further with a little bit of overlay. Let's test this out. A bit more highlight underneath the eyebrows, under the chin, like that. Well, if anything, I could always do a little bit of an in-between of this and then the old face. Although I'm not sure how I would do that. I guess there's multiple ways I could approach this. So maybe I could extend down the forehead shadow, or make it spread it a little wider over to here, and then we're gonna have highlight all the way on her cheek, all the way on her cheek to her nose, although now it's not looking as anime as I'd like to. That's the downside. The more I kind of add more realistic shading, it's gonna be a challenge to keep that One Piece style. Let's add a tiny bit of highlight over here. Let's extend it, extend that highlight upwards. Oh yeah, it's, nope. Maybe I make her nose a little bigger. Not even with this shape. No, it won't work. Let's add some lashes. Let's see if we can enhance the shadow somehow. Make it more dynamic. Well, this is definitely more dynamic. Let's do this. Okay. Might need to go easy on this side though. So I went ahead, added some more shadow on this side. If I do that, I think I might have to also do it on this side. So let me just, oh, actually no, that looks weird. Nope, 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 nope. What if I brought this shadow down? Like that, and we'll add some more shadow on the side here. And then let's create a new layer. Let's see if we can add a little blush. Maybe that's gonna make the plasticky look go away. We just want a slight difference in shade on her face especially. Oh, nope, 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 nope. That's too much. Nope. Let's go with a slightly lighter warm tone. And we'll use a bit more airbrush. This is all just testing out. Definitely need a bit more blue inside the eyes. And then I would like to have a bit of yellow as well inside, or warm tone, should I say. Warm tone inside the eyes. Well, this looks a little better, although the nose is definitely not as... Okay, maybe like that. Merge everything down. Merge everything down, and then one more thing. Copy the light part of the face. And then I'm going to just edit that color slightly. I don't know how, but well, I guess this is the best version. Alright, so with that, it's looking a bit more 3D, but you know, we sacrificed the style of it. What if we do this? Nope. Maybe on the side. Well, it's not too bad. I think I need to revisit this somehow. Let's see. Let me turn it down. Turn this down a bit more. Okay, that's not too bad. Now I'm just kind of experimenting with a combination of all the faces that I've done, all the variations. Let me remove the highlight on the nose here. See what that looks like. This eye looks a little bit wider than the other one. I want to see if I can even it out. Would that help? Okay, there we go. It's not too bad. Enhance the highlight on the cheek. Bring it connected to the very, very, very non-existent nose bridge. She's gonna have a snatch nose no matter what. That's her iconic facial feature, and we have to make sure it happens. Still, it's a little bit of a challenge to get it just right. And, you know, she has to be recognizable. Alright. So this is one of the figure I was looking at, but in particular, I like this part of the hair, so let's see if we can make it work for the hair. Hopefully that color works out, so we're just going to plop it on. See if that adds something to our piece. Ooh. Well, I like the color, but let's see if we can make it work somehow. Doesn't look too great. Nope. Let's bring it down. Bring it down and then lower the opacity. I guess it doesn't work that well, but I like the color, so I'm gonna keep it. Also, I'm looking at the figure and I'm seeing her eyes. Her pupils are pretty big and mine are a little bit smaller. Wonder if I should make them big again. Although you know, her look won't be at the audience if I do, unless I move this up, the speckle. Bring it up. Oh yes, like that. Yeah, I think that should do it. Bring this brow, make it longer. Alright, I think this is getting somewhere, hopefully. What if I bring the mouth up? So there's just a lot of stuff to try out, like moving the facial features around to get the optimal look. Mm. Bring this down a bit. If I do this, I made her pupils a lot bigger. It looks more like the anime figure, but you know, changes the direction of her eyes. So I don't know what she's looking at. Probably not the audience. Let me grab this. There we go. Cleaning up that water line and all that. Alright, so for the face, I guess we'll stop here. I'll probably fuss over it a little bit more later. Because what I want to do is bring this into Paint Clip Studio and kind of move things around. But other than that, we need to paint a t-shirt on her because for censorship and all that, so I can post it. So I guess let's give her a nice t-shirt. Let's see if Boa would. Oh, not Boa. Nico Robin look good in a t-shirt. Although I don't think she wears one in one piece. So let's give it a try and see how she looks. Actually, maybe I should take a look at her outfits. See if I can find some inspiration. But for sure I need to cover up her cleavage. That's the main thing. It doesn't look like she has much of I mean, she doesn't have much outfits that covers her cleavage. Let's see how she would look with a t-shirt, let's say. So maybe black? No, wait. Let's go for a classic red for her. Go for that classic red boa. I mean, Nico Robin. Damn, I keep confusing them. Okay, there we go. Nico Robin. Here we go. Now I got the right figure. I was like, I keep getting confused on them. It's that One Piece style. Their faces are just so similar. I keep getting confused. Okay, now I'm on the right character. Well, Nico Robin does not have the classic red, but she does have a classic blue. Or or black actually. Maybe we can go for black. Let's try out blue. Trying to find to see if she has any other color scheme that she's known for. Okay. I guess she is mostly known for blue. At least based on the anime figures I'm looking at. So let's go ahead and do blue. Just going to have to find the right. This, I think this blue should do it. So I got my t-shirt base. I'll just paint over it a little bit. Remove some of the anatomy to make it look more like a t-shirt, hopefully. I'm going to also see if I can change up the tones for some of these areas. Actually, maybe that, but then I need it to be a bit more blue. Let's go with this. Kind of want to put like a little text on her t-shirt. Not sure what though. Let's go for that wet t-shirt look. So I'm going to copy just some of the skin tone, paste it on there, and we're just going to lower the opacity slightly and basically blur it out. I'm going to use the smudge tool with scatter on. Make for a fast blending tool. We just want to blend it out. It looks a little messy though, so let's just do this for now. Ooh, looks way too messy. We'll just keep it like that. Let me manually do this, I guess. Add a little bit of fleshy color. Another thing we could probably try to do is just to look up some wet t-shirts and we can just use some of that as reference or some of that as texture, which actually might make the process a bit faster. And then select that part, make it a little darker. Make it a little darker and then erase bits of it. Let's do this. I'm gonna clean up the t-shirt color line. Make it a bit more even. Alrighty. So now we are going to see if we can find the texture for a wet t-shirt. So there's a specific look I'm going for, so I need to find the right texture. The texture I'm looking for needs to have a strong lighting. So strong differentiation of the highlight towards the top and shadow towards the bottom. That's gonna give me the optimal. Ooh, this is kind of good. Some of these textures are kind of naked. Uh, which one should I go for? Using texture just speeds things up. You could also just do it from scratch. But I'm working with Photoshop and I am not a fan of blending with Photoshop after I've tried other programs, that is. I mean, this one kind of looks good. It has some decent lighting, so let's see if we can use it somehow. This is not the right angle either, so we'll just give it a try. See if we can make it work. If anything, it does give us some lighting. I mean, some color to work with. Let's do medium. Medium is a filter that sort of smooths things out at the expense of detail. So it's like blur, but it's not as airbrushy as blur. I mean, if anything, I kind of like the color that this texture gave. Other than that, it's not that great. Let's go ahead and add the texture for the t-shirt. Add a bit of highlight towards the side. Shadow towards the center. Need to blend this out. Merge down. Wonder what I can put there. What can I put on her shirt? Like a text or something, not sure. Let's see if we can add some skin tone in there somehow. Let me go ahead and try it out. So let's see. Let's add some random patches of skin tone in the t-shirt. Okay, next, let me blend this in. Next, let's see. I guess I'll try to add some rim to the shirt. Some edge to her t-shirt. Let's go ahead and do this. Trying to see if I can add some more dynamic shadow. By that I mean just adding extra shadow to if we have like a drop down kind of situation with the sun towards the top, most of it is going to be highlight top, shadow on the bottom, but we can also try to add a bit of shadow on the side to possibly make you know, the shading more dynamic, so it's not as flat, but that just increases, it also influences a lot of other components, like we might have to add some more rim light if we do that. Maybe towards the bottom, you know? Let's do this. Let's add some rim light on this shirt. Merge down. I want to make her shirt a bit more vibrant. Let's try to do this. Multiply. Whatever it is, I just wanted the shirt to have a deeper blue. This kind of looks like her shirt has holes. Probably not a good idea to do that. Okay, let's go with that. Make it a little brighter towards the top. Erase. Merge down. Add some skin tone towards the bottom of the shirt. Alright, let's call it here for the t-shirt. Okay. So now that that's done, last but not least, we're going to work on the hand a bit. So for the background, there's a few things I could probably work on, is just to find a better resolution for the photos. Or we can be lazy and blur it. It might not always work, but let's give it a shot. So we are going to use the iris blur. This allows me to pick areas to have it more blurred out, I guess. Let's go with that. And I also wanted to put that wanted poster somehow, or incorporate it somehow, so not sure if it will still work, but let's give it a try. I guess we could have this as like, we could have this. Ooh, okay, that's not bad. We could have this as an alternate version. Oh my god, this looks like a magazine cover. It's actually pretty cool. So the only thing about the wanted poster is that it looks a bit flat, so maybe we could find some old parchment texture. Old parchment texture. See if we can incorporate some of that texture. Let's see if it will work. So I found one here. Let's apply this on the wanted poster and pray that it looks good. Doesn't always end up looking good, you know, but we can give it a try. So we apply the old parchment. Grab this, duplicate, constraint down, and then we are gonna go multiply. might be a bit too dark if I do that. We are going to find a good tone for it, actually. Or do this. And of course, we are missing the window in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead, select it, inverse, and then mask on the parchment. And just like that, it's looking quite a bit better. So if we do it like this, looks kind of cool. But if I do it like this, not sure. Might need to add some sort of. Actually, let's see how it would look if we added some shadow, drop down shadow, like that. Since her straw hat's kind of blending in with the parchment part, so we have to see if we can break it up a bit. So now, if we do it like this, she stands out more, which is good. And if I do it like this, I should probably find like some words or something. I don't know. Most wanted. But this is a interesting layout. I kind of like it. I think it looks better without the shirt. But yeah, it's not too bad. Let's go find the choker. Where did I put her choker? Where is the layer for it? There it is. Let's clean it up and add some shine to it. I'm going back to texture, not texture, but reference for, I mean, Nico. My gosh. For Nico. Okay. Alright, I guess this is good. So last thing I could probably do just to enhance the colors. I always do a edit, and I like to copy the final image, do a blur, lower it, put it on soft light, and just kind of brighten it up a little bit. So this just enhances the color slightly. And then I'll use the airbrush to lighten and create some sort of atmosphere. Like that. I think that should do it. I think this is kind of an interesting layout for her. So yeah, that's basically it. I want to touch up that face, but this is basically it. Let's remove this. That's still not too bad. Alright guys, so that's basically it for this voiceover. I hope you guys enjoy that. It was kind of fun coming back to Photoshop. I'm slowly kind of just jumping from program to program, but yeah. I mean, in the t-shirt version, I will remove the bikini straps. But yeah, this is what we have. I'll see you guys in the next voiceover. Have a great day or night, guys. Bye bye.